be talking on shortly. With inputs coming in from the Parliament after stormy 4 days, the fifth day of the monsoon session in the Parliament is expected to invite similar pandemonium. Although long discussions already took place in Lok Sabha, not satisfied with the government response and to keep the momentum on farmers' issue, Congress party is expected to raise the issue in both houses. Minister of IT Ravishankar Prasad is also expected to answer cases on the threat of digital fraud and cyber security. Let's go back to my colleague Jaiseelan for more on what's expected to unfold in the Parliament today. Jaiseelan, talk us through. We've seen heated discussions on cow vigilantism. We've also seen a farmers' issue being discussed, but perhaps that will continue. What about issues like standoff with China? I believe even they have been touched upon.
Yeah, yesterday, of course, the opposition made a demand that the Sino-Indian dispute be taken up for discussion, and the government has agreed to it, though a date has not been finalized, the timing too has not been finalized, but the government in principle has agreed to a discussion. But yesterday, Sushma Swaraj made it very clear that, as far as the dispute with China is concerned, India simply cannot fall in line with whatever the Chinese have demanded. The Chinese, in fact, have demanded the withdrawal of Indian troops before meaningful talks could begin. But Sushma Swaraj yesterday, intervening in the Rajya Sabha, did make it very clear that if at all, meaningful talks have to take place, then both the sides will have to withdraw troops, and it cannot, and we don't have any unreasonable conditions being put forth just ahead of the talks. But the Chinese media and the official, bureaucracy as well has been kind of, issuing statements which often border on threats. So, we are likely to have a very big discussion on this in the Rajya Sabha, maybe on Monday, because Tuesday is the day on which the swearing-in will take place of Ramat Govind. And we also heard the side of the opposition, the side of the government, briefing the opposition, just ahead of the monsoon session there at Rajnath Singh's house. So, that's what has been decided as far as the India-China dispute is concerned. But with regard to other issues, the farmers' crisis, of course, has already been discussed in detail in the Lok Sabha, but the opposition is not satisfied with the answers that have been given by the government, and therefore they have decided to rake up the issue again, both within and outside Parliament. So that is something, we can of course expect a lot of ruckus to be created in the Lok Sabha. And as far as the Rajya Sabha is concerned, the Motor Vehicle Act, which was actually cleared by both the Standing Committee and the Select Committee, is likely to be tabled.
I was just going to ask you this, Jaiseelan, because we understand all these issues are very, very important indeed, be it the standoff with China, be it the farmer crisis, or perhaps cow vigilantism, because of which we have seen so many innocent lives being taken. But what about the business? What about the policy work that was supposed to be discussed? I believe the BJP-led government wanted to have somewhere close to 34 bills being presented in both the houses, be it the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. How far have they been able to manage to get the passage of these bills? What's happening on that front?
Well, so far, we haven't heard anything about the passage of bills at all. Maybe that will happen once the swearing-in of the president is done, because we have ample time for the vice president's election. So in the meantime, of course, the government may want to take up a lot many bills. But before that, a lot of clarifications had to be issued in connection with very contentious issues which the opposition have been raising, from time to time. So naturally, now that the issue of cow vigilantism, of course, is over, and farmers' crisis is likely to get over today, perhaps, because already a discussion has taken place in the Lok Sabha, we can expect all these, bills to be taken up during the course of next week.
All right. We'll leave it at that for a moment, Jaiseelan. Thanks very much for joining us with those details.